I'm Nicole Jones Wadsworth for Lieutenant Governor. I'm from Huntsville and I took my vision statewide. I have a background in business, contracts, and economic development. And my company and my clients have literally brought hundreds of millions of dollars of industry to the state of Alabama. So my career as a site selector and a commercial real estate developer involves a lot of travel. I've been able to travel to all 67 counties over 25 times on my own dime, not the taxpayer's dime, not the party's dime, my dime, before asking for anybody's vote. And it's through meeting with my clients and their families and constituents in Alabama's urban and rural markets that the same 5 key issues have kept coming up. So I've devised a plan called Build a Better Alabama. I want to utilize the office of Lieutenant Governor to improve the quality of life for Alabamians in the areas of industry recruitment and retention, workforce development, statewide infrastructure improvements, rural health care, and public safety. These elements touch everybody in this state, no matter where you live. Our industry recruitment and retention and workforce development, those issues go hand in hand. As Lieutenant Governor, I want to ensure that every Alabamian, from the high school student to the veteran, has a clear path to a good paying job. Why? Because when Alabamians are working, we all benefit. It keeps people off welfare, it reduces recidivism, and it gives a man or a woman a sense of purpose by being able to pay for something with a paycheck that he or she has earned. As Lieutenant Governor, I want to partner with our high schools, our trade schools, our community colleges, and our universities, and put people on a pathway to employment and let folks know that whether they have a credential, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, or a PhD, that they are worthy and they're able to be employed by Alabama's diverse industries. We can solve generational poverty with a job. We can solve a lot of our societal issues with a job. Another component that's critically important to our industrial recruitment and retention, as well as our quality of life, is our infrastructure. As Lieutenant Governor, I want to use my voice and speak with our federal partners and stay on the radar and make sure that we're getting the tax dollars that we're already paying into Washington back here in the state of Alabama. And that means making smart, long-term, fiscally responsible investments in our roads, our bridges, our ports, and our broadband. As an economic developer, I know that it takes approximately 10 years from the time that a civil engineer is drawing out road plans to the time that constituents are actually driving on those roads. It matters to everybody in this room. Our ports are also vitally important, pun intended. In late fall, I was at the Port of Mobile with Senator Tuberville, former Senator Shelby, Senator Britt, and many partners from the public and private sector celebrating the 50-foot channel depth of the Port of Mobile. That is a long-term investment in ourselves that touches every industry that flows through the state of Alabama. In addition to that coastal port, we also have a series of inland ports that are vital to commerce. That's our Port of Huntsville, Port of Guntersville, Port of Demopolis, the Birmingham Intermodal Facility, and the Montgomery Intermodal Facility that's set to open in first quarter of 2027. Whether aerospace, aviation, agriculture, food production, biotechnology, metals, chemicals, advanced materials, defense, all of those industries flow through those ports. So again, when we invest in ourselves, it keeps more money here at home, and it helps everybody in Alabama. Our broadband is also lumped into that infrastructure equation. In 2017, I started serving on a series of focus groups where the public and the private sector started talking to one another about how to connect our communities. We connect our communities and we connect our economy through broadband. It affects our schools, it affects our jobs, and it affects our rural health care, which is why I brought rural health care and telehealth into the mix. Rural health care affects everybody in this room, no matter where you live. Why? Because when Alabamians are healthy, they're working. When Alabamians are working, we all benefit. I represent a lot of physicians, and I know how to get creative with rural health care because I've done it for a living.